Mr. Rogers called me, and I talked to him in every puppet voice, and they said I would be okay, and I would be fine, and I would come out seizure-free. And my mom and dad, I spent 12 hours in the operation, followed up with a 6-week nap in a coma. And every day, Mr. Rogers would call the Ronald McDonald House to talk to Mom, to check up on me. But unfortunately, my mom and dad were right by my bedside the entire time, the entire 4 months. So eventually, Mr. Rogers called the hospital and talked to my mom, and he wanted to come visit me. And my mom instead told him not to come. She's deep in a coma. I wouldn't even know that we were there, but he insisted on making the trip. So the only thing he carried with him was a clarinet case of all of his puppets. I got my own special private showing. How lucky am I? Unfortunately, I was unconscious at the time. But anyway, as you can find out, he came and I didn't wake up. And he hopped back on the plane. He allowed my mom and dad to take pictures to prove that that this really happened. And he hopped back on a plane an hour later and flew back home. And as you can tell, I got better. Knock on wood. We remained friends. My mom was searching for someone to be the commencement speaker at the UConn graduation, and so I suggested, why not get Mr. Rogers? So I wrote him a letter asking if he'd come and spend the weekend giving a talk to the graduating class. And he said, under one condition, if I helped write his speech. The highlight of my life, I got to tell you. But anyway, he came. I got Mr. Rogers all to myself the entire weekend. It was so cool. But not only did he write one speech, he wrote 2 different speeches for both graduations. It was unbelievable. But anyway, we remained friends. We would write each other every month, and he would make an attempt, and he did this. He called me every year on my birthday to wish me happy birthday. And when he passed away, I was asked by our local newspaper to write an article about him. And I felt like I was in a dream. I was so honored. But as some of you may know, he spent most of his summers on that other island, the island that should not be named. but I still held him close to my heart. I'm grateful for that. But anyway, I have to read a quote by Mr. Rogers that I love. Thank you, Dad. My right-hand man. If you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you never even dream of. There is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. And I go by that quote every day. And I think of Mr. Rogers whenever I read it. And I want to thank Polly for allowing me to share my story. And thank you all for listening to me.